The galaxy was quiet that cycle, too quiet for those who listened. At the edge of the spiral arm where forgotten systems drifted in darkness, a single transmission cut through the silence. It was weak, wrapped in static, and carried an old Terran code that most species no longer recognized. "This is Earth Command. Do not cross the border." The message repeated once every hour, steady as a heartbeat from a ghost. No one claimed responsibility. No one admitted they even knew what Earth was anymore. But curiosity is a dangerous thing. The Valen Accord, an alliance of proud alien nations, decided to investigate. To them, Earth was a myth, a ruined blue world destroyed centuries ago during the Collapse Wars. They believed humanity had burned itself out, leaving nothing but dust and forgotten machines. So when their explorers caught the transmission, laughter filled their command rooms. "Old human ghosts," said Admiral Keth Ronar, commander of the Valen 7th Fleet. "We will cross their so-called border and find whatever toy is still sending this signal." Within hours, 200 warships gathered near the edge of Sol system. The ships glowed like small suns, engines roaring with plasma fire. The void trembled as the fleet prepared for the jump. Before the final order, the Admiral's communications officer spoke. "Sir, the message changed," Ronar frowned. "What do you mean, changed?" "It's counting down. 10, 9, 8. The Admiral smirked. "Probably a human scare tactic. Proceed. 7, 6, 5. Static grew louder. The lights dimmed across the bridge. Sensors started to flicker and several crew members reported nausea. 4, 3, 2. Outside, the stars themselves seemed to fade, like the universe was holding its breath. 1, 0. Nothing. The countdown ended, and the signal went silent. For a few long seconds, the only sound in the command bridge was the hum of the reactors. Then came the scream. Not a human scream, not even a biological one. It came from the fleet's central AI core, a metallic howl that echoed through every comm channel. Dozens of systems reported catastrophic errors. Shields collapsed, weapons malfunctioned, and every ship's navigation map began to rewrite itself. "What is happening?" Ronar shouted. The technicians worked frantically. "Unknown interference. Sensors can't lock on anything, sir. We're losing ships." "Losing how?" "They're gone, Admiral. Just gone from the grid." On the main screen, the glowing dots representing Allied ships began to vanish one by one. "No explosion, no distress call, only emptiness. Activate visuals," Ronar commanded. The outer cameras flickered alive, and what they showed made even the hardened Valen soldiers fall silent. Massive shapes drifted in the dark. Silent ships, ancient ships. Their hulls bore scars older than any living species. Symbols glowed faintly along their sides. An eagle clutching the planet Earth surrounded by stars. "Identify them," Ronar whispered. "Unknown design," said the AI before it glitched again. "But records suggest Terran Fleet-class vessels, decommissioned over 2,000 years ago." "That's impossible," Ronar muttered. "Those ships were destroyed during the collapse." As the alien fleet stared, the dark Terran ships began to move. No engine flares, no signals, just silent motion. Smooth, deliberate, like predators circling prey. The nearest Valen cruiser tried to retreat. Its thrusters fired, but the ship did not move. A faint shimmer rippled around it, and then the entire vessel folded in on itself and vanished. Panic spread through the bridge. "Admiral, we're being locked." Energy readings rising from their hulls. The transmission returned. A calm human voice spoke, quiet but cold as death. "You were warned. This border is not yours to cross." The bridge lights exploded. Sparks filled the air. One by one, screens went black. Ronar could still see the ancient ships outside, their outlines glowing brighter now, as if awakening from a long sleep. A wave of blue light swept through the fleet, and everything electronic began to die. Within seconds, every Valen warship went dark. No engines, no life support, no sound. Ronar reached for his sidearm as if it could help. Then he saw something on the main window, a reflection. A human figure standing in the air outside the ship, watching him. The figure raised a hand and the glass cracked like ice. And then, blackness. Hours later, a lone distress beacon drifted beyond the border. No ship, no wreckage, only the beacon repeating a single message in hundreds of alien languages. This is Earth Command. Border violation confirmed. Intruders erased. Do not cross. The rest of the galaxy heard the report. Many refused to believe it. They said the Valen fleet must have fallen into a black hole or a hyperstorm. But deep down, every leader, every soldier, every explorer who saw that transmission felt the same cold truth. Earth was not dead. It was waiting. Beneath the gray skies of the forgotten planet, under ruined cities and oceans that hid metal scars, something ancient stirred. Old satellites aligned themselves, sending signals across the void. In a bunker below the Andes, lights flickered for the first time in centuries. A single human voice echoed through the silence of the control room. Contact confirmed. Protocol eclipse activated. And far above, the stars seemed to shift, as if humanity itself had just opened its eyes again. The galaxy trembled with rumors. The Valen 7th Fleet, 200 of the most advanced warships ever built, had vanished inside Terran space. No wreckage, no distress call, just silence. For weeks, the galactic networks buzzed with speculation. Some said it was a weapon, something left behind by old humanity before they disappeared. Others whispered about ghosts, cursed systems, or vengeful AIs that hunted any who trespassed near Sol. But deep beneath the noise, governments began to panic. The Council of Empires at the center of the Valen capital. The Grand Hall of Empires stood in uneasy silence. Hundreds of alien delegates argued under the crystal domes, their voices echoing through the chamber. They must have fallen into a black hole, one shouted. No, our sensors showed energy bursts. Someone attacked them, another hissed. A primitive world cannot destroy an entire armada, said a third. Admiral Vorsk, a reptilian veteran, slammed his claws against the table. Humans were never primitive, he said slowly. Our ancestors fought beside them. They built weapons that could erase moons, and then they vanished. What if they never truly died? The chamber fell silent. The idea was too terrifying to accept. An advisor played the recovered signal from the lost fleet's beacon. This is Earth Command. Border violation confirmed. Intruders erased. The words echoed through the hall. Someone whispered. It called itself Earth Command. That means organization, control. They're still out there. The High Chancellor's voice trembled. Then we must find them, before they find us. The search begins a month later. Dozens of exploration fleets set course toward Sol's border. None dared to cross, but their probes scanned from afar. The readings made no sense. Massive energy distortions, gravitational waves, and signals that seemed to come from deep underground on Earth itself. Commander Thalrix of the Coro Dominion reviewed the data. These readings, it's like the planet's core is alive. Her second officer frowned. Alive? Pulsing, she corrected. Every 12 hours, the magnetic field strengthens. Something is waking up down there. As she spoke, the signal changed again. This time it wasn't a warning. It was a single word, broadcast in every known galactic frequency. Eclipse. The probe feeds went black. Moments later, entire sensor networks across 5 systems collapsed. Communications scrambled, satellites blinded. Something massive was spreading outward from Sol, like invisible waves tearing through hyperspace lanes. Back on Earth far beneath the surface, in a command bunker buried under ancient stone, faint blue lights illuminated a chamber untouched for centuries. Dust swirled as dormant machines came to life. A lone AI, designation Echelon, rebooted after 2,000 years of sleep. Human defense grid online. Status, Earth sovereignty compromised. Initiating restoration protocol. Across the planet, old Terran defense platforms lifted from their hiding places. What once were rusted satellites now shone like newborn stars. Automated shipyards in lunar shadow flickered with light. Docking clamps released. Empty hangars filled with motion. Echelon spoke softly into the dark. Welcome back, Command. In the heart of the base, a cryopod opened. A human stepped out, tall, pale, and disoriented. Captain Mira Solari, her voice cracked. How long? 1,983 years, Captain. She steadied herself, staring at the holographic map showing Valen space. So they came again. Yes, border intrusion confirmed. Response completed. Fleet annihilated. Mira's eyes hardened. Then the others will come next. Prepare broadcast to all Terran outposts. We're done hiding. The second warning as Mira spoke, the galactic network suddenly flared back online. Every device, from personal terminals to capital screens, displayed the same message in bold white letters. This is Earth. The border stands. Cross again and the sky will burn. People screamed in markets. Armies froze mid-drill. Admirals demanded explanations. And yet, deep in every heart, human or alien, grew one feeling: fear. The council called an emergency session again. But before they could speak, their own defense satellites malfunctioned. A transmission bypassed every encryption key. A human face appeared on the main screen, Mira's. You took our people. You burned our cities. You left us in ashes, but humanity endures. We warned you once. There will not be a second warning. Then the signal cut, leaving only static. Panic among the stars across the galaxy. Chaos followed. Border systems went dark. Merchants refused to travel near Terran space. Whole colonies began to evacuate, fearing Earth's retaliation. The legend of the lost fleet of humans returned with fury. Some tried to fight the fear. The Valen Council ordered another invasion, smaller, stealthier, meant to reclaim their honor. 6 ships entered Sol space under full cloak. None came back. Their final message was a whisper. We saw them. Fleets in the dark. Thousands of ships. They're waiting. The awakening under Earth's polar ice caps, enormous hangar doors began to open. Water and vapor burst into the atmosphere as titanic silhouettes rose. Black metal warships bearing the symbol of the old Terran Union. Their hulls glowed faintly, powered by reactors older than most civilizations. From orbit, a ring of blue light spread outward like dawn over the planet. It was not sunlight. It was power. In the bunker, Mira watched through the viewport. They think we're the same humans they enslaved, she whispered. They're about to learn what 2 millennia of silence have built. Orders, Captain? The AI asked. She looked toward the stars where the Valen Empire glittered like a field of targets. Wake the fleet, she said, and send one last message to the galaxy. The message was brief. We remember, and somewhere far away another ancient Terran outpost received it. Its reactors ignited for the first time in ages. One by one across forgotten worlds, old human installations awakened, answering Earth's call. The galaxy that once ruled humanity did not yet know what was coming. But the echoes of the lost fleet had already begun to shake the stars. In the dark stillness of Earth's orbit, ancient satellites came alive one after another. Their metal shells cracked open, revealing glowing cores and antennas shaped like crystal wings. They had slept through centuries of dust, war, and silence. Now, they remembered. A wave of blue light spread across the planet's magnetosphere, connecting every dormant defense grid, every orbital platform, every hidden bunker. Humanity's ghost network, the Eclipse Protocol, was awake. The old voice returns in the deep command bunker. Captain Mira Solari stood in front of the main console. The flickering screens displayed countless signals, colonies, shipyards, outposts, all across the solar system coming back online. Echelon, she said quietly. Confirm the network's reach. Global synchronization complete. Luna command restored. Mars relay restored. Titan facility. Partial connection. Mira nodded. That's enough. Begin full system restoration. It's time the galaxy remembered who we are. The AI's voice was calm but proud. Eclipse Protocol is now active. All Terran fleets preparing for launch. Outside, under the shadow of the moon, massive hangar gates opened to reveal Ark-class dreadnoughts, ships large enough to carry entire cities. Their hulls glowed with pale blue energy veins, the insignia of Earth shining bright against the void. Across the stars in Valen space, panic spread like wildfire. Hundreds of systems jammed with broken communication. Navigation routes flickered. Cargo ships vanished without distress calls. Admiral Vorsk of the Valen High Fleet stared at his display in disbelief. 17 colonies have gone dark? His officers swallowed hard. Yes, Admiral. All within the last 3 hours. The sensors report gravitational spikes before contact loss. Gravitational spikes? Vorsk hissed. Are they using black hole weapons? We don't know, sir. Before he could answer, the lights dimmed. A new signal cut through their encrypted channel. A voice, human, female, spoke softly. Your crimes have reached our border. This is your final eclipse. Then their system crashed. The Admiral's warship drifted helplessly as all other ships around him flickered and vanished into thin air. There was no explosion, only the silent vacuum swallowing them. The galaxy reacts while empires screamed for answers. Neutral observers tried to send probes toward Earth. None made it back. Instead, they transmitted short bursts of data, grainy visuals of colossal fleets emerging from hidden gates behind Earth's moon, Mars, and even Saturn's rings. Billions watched across the galaxy as leaked footage flooded the networks. Human warships moving in perfect formation, their weapons glowing like miniature suns. The anchor of a galactic newsfeed whispered in fear, "They're not supposed to exist. These ships are from a pre-collapse era, yet they look alive." And then, one broadcast showed something no one expected. Earth itself glowing faintly from space, as if surrounded by an invisible shield. Inside the command bunker captain, Mira stared at the holographic map, each blue dot representing a Terran fleet waking from slumber. "Echelon," she said, "status of Fleet Aurora. Online and awaiting orders, Captain. Deploy them to the outer rim of Sol. No aggression yet, only a demonstration." The AI paused. "A demonstration?" Mira's eyes darkened. "Yes. Let them see what happens when humanity remembers its strength." Moments later, in the blackness beyond Neptune, 12 massive dreadnoughts fired their engines. They didn't attack, just opened portals that rippled across space like water. From each rift, a beam of light shot outward, stretching for light years. Those beams passed harmlessly through alien communication arrays, leaving behind a single encoded phrase, "We are back." The message reached every major world in the galaxy within minutes. Governments panicked. Armies mobilized. Fear replaced arrogance. The Valen counterstrike desperate to save face, the Valen Council gathered what remained of their fleets. They called it Operation Cleansing Dawn, a plan to surround Sol from 3 directions. Vorsk, the same admiral who doubted humanity, was chosen to lead it. "We will strike before they gather momentum," he told his captains. "If we lose this time, our empire ends." As his fleet entered the edge of Terran space, scanners went wild. Space around them bent strangely, as if the laws of physics refused to stay stable. Then the stars disappeared. A giant shadow emerged ahead, hundreds of kilometers long. A ship. Its design was alien to everyone, but human. The TDS Invictus, the flagship of the old Terran defense fleet, had returned. Its hull gleamed like molten steel, engraved with words that chilled every soldier. "We stand guard when all others fall." The Valen ships opened fire instantly, energy beams lighting up the dark. But the shots curved, bent, and vanished before hitting their mark. The Invictus didn't fire back. It just drifted forward, silently watching. Then all Valen ships received a direct transmission, text only. "We do not seek war, but we remember." Seconds later, every Valen ship lost power. Their engines, weapons, and AIs shut down. The human ship simply turned away and disappeared into hyperspace. Whispers in the void after that day, no one dared approach Earth again. Yet strange phenomena began across the galaxy. Dead worlds flickering with human signals. Derelict space stations suddenly transmitting old Terran codes. Mysterious drones appearing over alien capitals and vanishing everywhere. One symbol appeared, the silver eagle clutching Earth. In schools, children whispered about the ghosts of Earth. In governments, leaders trembled at the phrase protocol eclipse. And in the dark chambers beneath Earth, Mira watched as the fleets expanded their reach. Humanity was not attacking, it was observing, waiting. "They fear us again," Echelon said. Mira smiled faintly. "Good, but fear is not enough. They must remember why." The AI's lights pulsed. "Then we continue phase 2? She nodded slowly. "Yes, activate the sleeper worlds. Let the galaxy see what happens when humans decide to finish what was started." The stars outside shimmered as dozens of Terran outposts across forgotten systems powered up simultaneously. Their activation signals spread through space like thunder, and far away on a distant planet ruled by alien kings, a child looked up at the night sky and whispered, "Mom, why does the Earth shine so bright now?" Her mother didn't answer, because somewhere, deep down, even she knew, the old gods of war had awakened again. The night sky across 100 alien worlds began to shimmer. At first, no one noticed. The glimmer looked like cosmic dust or distant lightning, but then it grew brighter, pulsing rhythmically, like a heartbeat echoing through the stars. Every 12 hours the pulse repeated. Astronomers in every empire tracked it, and all readings pointed to one terrifying origin. Earth, the forgotten colonies. Long before humanity's collapse, the Terran Union had sent ships beyond the known stars. Colony arcs meant to preserve life and knowledge if Earth ever fell. Most believed those colonies perished in isolation. But they hadn't. Beneath the red deserts of Erebus 9, beneath oceans of methane on Krython, and under the icy crust of Vesta Prime, the colonists had survived. Generations passed in darkness, guided only by an old command: await the signal. And now that signal had come. In a dim underground city on Erebus 9, old machines roared to life. Rusted generators sparked, and banners bearing the fated Terran eagle unfurled once again. Commander Ray Alcott, descendant of the first settlers, stared at the glowing console. "Is it true?" she whispered. The technician nodded. "Confirmed. The homeworld is awake." Her eyes filled with tears. "Then it's time. Prepare the fleet." The call of Earth across the galaxy, the same scene unfolded. Humans who had lived their entire lives believing Earth was a myth now looked up in awe. Their comms were flooded with one signal repeating in a calm human voice: "This is Earth Command. The border stands. All sleeper worlds, activate and report," children cried. Soldiers cheered. Ancient factories reopened, producing weapons older than any alien technology but far more advanced in precision and design. On Vesta Prime, enormous suboceanic hangars cracked open, releasing submarines that could fly through space. On Krython, clouds parted as planetary shields lifted for the first time in centuries. On Erebus 9, rockets carved through the crimson sky, heading toward orbit where forgotten Terran frigates waited patiently for orders. The sleeper worlds had awakened. The galactic panic, meanwhile, the galaxy's great powers gathered in secret. Every leader who had once mocked Earth now sat in fearful silence inside the Celestial. Assembly holograms showed footage of awakening human fleets. Thousands of ships emerging from forgotten sectors. Admiral Vorsk spoke first, his voice low. "They're everywhere. These colonies, they were never lost. They were hiding." A merchant guild leader shouted, "Why are they activating now?" "We offered peace." Another replied bitterly, "Peace? You enslaved their kind for centuries. You mined their ruins. You turned their graves into tourist zones." The room fell silent. From the shadows, an envoy of the neutral systems whispered, "I warned you. Humans never forget." Message from Earth across the galactic network. Every broadcast suddenly froze. The screens went black. Then a single figure appeared. It was Captain Mira Solari. Her eyes were calm, her uniform simple. But her voice carried the weight of millennia. "We are humanity. You took our skies, our worlds, our freedom. You built your empires on our bones. Now we rise, not for revenge, but remembrance." She paused as a holographic map of the galaxy appeared behind her. Blue light spread outward from Earth like veins of light, each one marking a newly awakened human colony. These are the sleeper worlds. They were built to endure when everything else fell. We do not seek to conquer, but we will never kneel again. The message ended with a single phrase that became legend overnight. Humanity endures. The first alliance fractures. The Valen Council was the first to break. Fear turned into chaos. Riots erupted as colonies demanded peace with Earth while generals demanded war. The council chambers filled with shouting until the lights flickered, and every monitor displayed the same signal again. "Do not test the border." Moments later, one of their moons exploded, not attacked, not bombed, simply vanished in a burst of blue light. The shockwave erased a fleet orbiting nearby. Every surviving ship received a short transmission, calm and clinical. "Demonstration complete. Stand down." From that day, no empire dared send scouts near Sol again. On Earth's surface beneath the Himalayas, the central command base glowed with new life. Thousands of humans, scientists, engineers, soldiers, worked together, rebuilding a civilization that had once fallen apart. Captain Mira stood at the main window as drones carried steel beams across the sky. Echelon, the AI, appeared beside her as a glowing hologram. "All sleeper worlds have confirmed activation, Captain. Fleet numbers 4,300 active. Estimated reinforcement time 1 month." Mira nodded. "Good. Begin unification protocols." No human world stands alone again. The AI paused. And the alien empires? Mira's voice turned cold. Let them come if they dare. A child's question on Erebus 9. A little girl watched the night sky from the colony dome. Dozens of bright streaks crossed the heavens. Human ships leaving orbit. Papa, she asked softly, where are they going? Her father smiled faintly, though fear hid behind his eyes. They're going home, little one. Home. Yes, he whispered. To Earth. The gathering storm, in the darkness of deep space, the combined fleets of the sleeper worlds began to converge toward the Sol system. Thousands of ships, thousands of banners, one purpose. And at the center of it all, the colossal TDS Invictus waited, humanity's first and final guardian. Inside its bridge, Mira stood alone looking out into the stars. They will never understand, she murmured. We gave them peace once. They answered with chains. Now we return not as victims but as witnesses. The stars reflected in her eyes like fire. Echelon signal the fleets. Protocol unity begins. The AI's tone grew almost reverent. All Terran forces acknowledged. The galaxy will remember this day. As the fleets began to align, the stars dimmed once more, the same way they had before the Valen fleet vanished. But this time the silence was not fear. It was the quiet before the storm. Far away, alien civilizations watched their skies flicker. Their leaders whispered prayers. Their historians began new records under a single title, The Return of Earth. Space around Sol system had changed. What once looked like a quiet corner of the galaxy now glowed with blue veins of light, stretching across millions of kilometers. The sleeper fleets, the lost colonies, and the silent outposts had all arrived. Above Earth, the largest armada in galactic history waited, ships of every size, from small recon scouts to the titanic Ark-class dreadnoughts. Their formation was flawless, precise, silent. It wasn't an army preparing for war. It was a civilization returning to life. The voice of command inside, the flagship TDS Invictus, Captain Mira Solari stood before a vast holographic map of the galaxy. Her eyes traced the flickering lights of the human fleets uniting one by one. All colonies confirmed, Captain, said Echelon, the ship's AI. 57 major sleeper worlds, 300 minor outposts, and the primary Terran defense grid are now synchronized. Mira nodded slowly. And Earth itself? Fully operational. Planetary shields restored. Orbital defense towers active. All communication secure, she exhaled. For centuries, humanity had been nothing but a ghost story. A warning whispered in alien academies. Now that ghost had returned with a voice. Mira turned to her officers. Begin Unity Protocol. Every Terran ship received the same order at the same second. Across the fleet, lights dimmed. Engines pulsed in unison. A single symbol appeared on every screen, the silver eagle clutching Earth, and a single phrase followed. Humanity united, the gathering of commanders, the grand hollow chamber aboard Invictus filled with shimmering figures, human commanders from dozens of systems appearing via quantum link. Some wore old uniforms, others ceremonial robes, some the rugged suits of miners and engineers, but all shared one purpose. Mira raised her hand. Brothers and sisters of humanity. For 2,000 years, we hid. We survived in silence, scattered across cold stars. But today, the silence ends. The room darkened as the holomap expanded, revealing the entire galaxy. Red zones marked alien empires, vast territories stretching like webs. In the center, a single blue sphere blinked. Earth. They thought we were gone, Mira continued. They enslaved our people, erased our history, and stole our worlds. But our ancestors built a promise into every ship and every colony, a promise that one day we would return united. She paused. Her voice softened. Today is that day. The room erupted with cheers, a thunder that shook the holographic walls. Alien eyes in the shadows far away. In the Valen Dominion spy network, a small team intercepted fragments of the human transmission. The alien analysts stared at the data in disbelief. Are these real? One asked. Their commander, Agent Corvin, leaned closer. Impossible. They've linked thousands of systems instantly. Even our fastest quantum gates can't do that. Sir, said another, trembling, it's more than communication. The readings suggest they're bending space-time itself. Their fleets aren't traveling, they're phasing. Corvin's blood ran cold. So they've mastered pre-collapse phase technology. Then the transmission cut abruptly. Every terminal went black. The room filled with static, and a voice whispered in flawless Valen tongue, "We see you." Every system in their base melted down in an instant. Earth speaks on every galactic frequency. A signal appeared. No one could block it. No one could trace it. Every empire, every ruler, every ship heard the same calm, steady voice. "This is Earth Command. We remember what you did. We remember the chains, the slavery, the arrogance. We do not seek revenge. We seek balance. From this moment, all human worlds are united. Any act of aggression toward one is an act against all." The message ended with a blinding flash of light. Not destructive, but symbolic. A new Terran emblem glowing over the galactic map. A white circle around Earth. The aliens named it the Human Zone. No one dared cross it. A moment of peace. For a brief time, the galaxy went still. Trade routes shifted away from human borders. Fleets retreated. Politicians who once mocked Earth now begged for negotiations. And for the first time in ages, Earth's skies were calm. Cities that once lay in ruins were alive again, powered by ancient fusion cores and rebuilt by fleets of drones. Children played under blue skies that hadn't seen sunlight in centuries. Farmers worked reclaimed lands, and in the middle of it all a memorial rose from the soil, a monument of glass and steel inscribed with simple words, "We endured. We returned." Shadows beneath, but Captain Mira knew peace was never permanent. As she stood in the command bridge, Echelon's tone grew cautious. "Captain, long-range scans detect anomalies beyond the Perseus arm. Unknown energy readings." "Not Valen, not any known empire," Mira frowned. "How many?" "Thousands. Possibly more. They're watching. Prepare defense positions," she ordered. "If they want to test humanity, let them come." The AI hesitated. "Captain." "They're not approaching. They're observing, recording. I believe they're waiting." Mira turned toward the viewport, watching the stars flicker. "Then the real war hasn't started yet," she whispered. A human legacy far below in Earth's capital, millions gathered as the old Terran flag was raised once more. The anthem of a forgotten species played across every screen, echoing even through alien sectors that dared to listen. From the crowd, a child asked her mother, "Why are they cheering, Mama?" The mother smiled softly. "Because we're finally together again." Above them, the fleets aligned into perfect orbit, the symbol of unity glowing brighter than the stars themselves. The final transmission. Later that night, Mira recorded one final message to the galaxy. Her voice was quiet, but it carried through every system that had once enslaved Earth. "We are not conquerors. We are survivors. For every world you burned, we built another in silence. We are humanity, and we have come home." The transmission ended, and across the galaxy, even the bravest species felt something they hadn't in centuries. Not fear. Not hatred. But respect.